Colm, many thanks for taking the time out to speak to me. We're going to chat about the great Sceaux, and I just mentioned to you before we spoke, his race record is quite extraordinary, and the journeys that he's taken you and your family on. Just talk to me first of all about how you came to own the horse in the first place.
Yeah, we had Willie to find us a good horse, which is never easy. And there was 3 horses that failed the bet. And every time we'd ring Willie, he'd say, "No, I didn't get one to suit you yet. And out of the blue, got a call, found a horse and he fits your profile. If we can get him to settle, he might be a racehorse." So, took a chance. He arrived in Willie's yard. And look, I think what they've done with him over the time they had him, turned him into be the superstar that he is, you know.
And every time that people would go down to the yard, you'd always see him to the head of the string. Virginie used to ride him out, and he used to just they used to just do their own thing. And I presume that's something that you were very conscious of and would see whenever you'd go down to see him.
Oh yeah, look, Virginie, you know, and Talek and Willie and Ruby and Patrick, the team, they distilled the champion status in him from day one, because he had to be first having the grove, first in the gallop, first in the grass walk, first in the sand walker. Everything was first. His whole life was about being first, you know. So, and the minding and the caring that he got, that's why the longevity is there. Like, that's why he lasted so long, because, you know, he was given his time to grow up and mature, you know.
And I've just looked at the various venues that you've gone to. We'll come back to Gowran in a second, but you've won at Leopardstown, you've won grade 1s at Cheltenham, you've won grade 1s at Sandown, you've won a couple of grade 1s at Ascot, a couple of grade 1s at Punchestown, and in France. To suggest that he's the horse of a lifetime would be probably an understatement, but I think various people described him as a warrior, because he went out and he took horses out of their comfort zone at a very early stage. At what stage did you realise that he could be above average, or at what stage would the people in the yard have told you that?
I suppose it was... He went on a sequence of winning events there after he beat Thomas Mullins' horse in Punchestown, a horse called Sammy Black, and that horse was well fancied that day in his maiden. And Ruby had broken his nose in the previous race and came in, and he was, you know, his arms were fair pulled off him. And after that, he went on a sequence, including the Red Mills. I think it was after the Red Mills, that performance, because Willie's Gigginstown had another horse in the race, Midnight something was his name, and he was a fair horse now, and under Sceaux just pulled the whole way around. He never came out of second gear, and after that, I think, look, from where we were coming from, we might have had 1 or 2 winners over a 5-year. You know, if we'd a winner every 3 or 4 years, we'd be happy. So to go on a winning 6 or 7 sequence was unbelievable. So he was always a superstar in our eyes, but to become the horse he was, sure, look, it was incredible. You know?
Sceaux, relentless out in front, galloping along clear of Midnight Game. In second and in third place is Chicago as they come to the final flight in the Red Mills trial, and Sceaux and Ruby Walsh come to the last. And this long odds-on favourite leading Midnight Game on the run-up towards the finish, in Chicago in third, and Sceaux, an exercise canter, lengthens right away, and it's 6 out of 6 now as Sceaux wins in effortless fashion.
I thought that was a great story you told about Ruby, telling people that this race will be over in a minute as far as the Arkle is concerned. Any other moments like that over the course of his career where Ruby would have won on him, or Patrick or Paul?
Yeah, look, the standout for me, I know, like, there's so many standouts. I suppose Ruby winning on the Tingle Creek was, look, the Tingle Creek, in my opinion, is as good as a champion chase. It's just a phenomenal race. It's iconic. It was interesting that Willie kind of campaigned under Sceaux in England. He was an Irish horse who was campaigned in England. He must have drove the English trainers mad, because we were going over stealing their grade 2 pots, or their 2 mile pots all the time. But I think Patrick winning, you know, on him, I just thought that Patrick was unbelievable. It was just professionalism. You know, he just hopped on him. He done exactly what the horse wanted him to do. Just, you know, if the horse could have spoke to Patrick, he would have just said, just hop on me, hang on, do not flinch a muscle, and I'll just take you there. And he did exactly that. And I thought Patrick on him, that would have been it, plus a father-son combination. Also, Willie was trailing Gordon Elliott at the time in the Trainers' Championship, and Sceaux threw a nice bit into the bucket there, and it kind of kicked off a momentum of winning sprees for Willie, you know. So that was great, you know.
And Colm, from a personal point of view, the Red Mills Hurdle, it's a very significant race for you as a family.
Yes, it's a phenomenal race. It's an iconic race because if you look back through the winners and the horses that were second in it, you win a Red Mills and you have a decision to make whether you go to champion hurdle route, whether you go chasing next year. You know, it's a grade 3 disguised as a grade 1 in my opinion. It's a proper race. Gowran Park itself is a proper race course. There's a proper pull up the back, and usually the ground is testing, and if you can do it in Gowran, look, it's like New York. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere, you know.
And that it was from your own point of view, you have that great photograph of your father.
Yeah, that's my favourite picture. To be honest, of all the Sceaux victories, or any victory we've ever had in sport, that picture, it's my favourite picture of all time, and it's the picture that we've always, looked at, and I was very grateful for the photographer that took it. And when Sceaux retired, that's the picture that we used. To be honest, you can have pictures of winning, Ryanair's or Arkle's, but for me anyway, and for the family personally, the Red Mills picture is the best of them all.
Well, you couldn't have rounded it off better, Colm. I've never met you before, but I've thoroughly enjoyed the conversation with you. Your enthusiasm for the game is infectious, so let's hope someday, somewhere down the road, you'll find another Sceaux and you'll enjoy him every bit as much. Thanks very much for talking to me, and we'll hook up with you at the races at some stage down the road.
Leading midnight
Perfect. Thank you.
on the run up towards the finish in Chicago in third, and Sceaux, an exercise canter lengthens right away, and it's 6 out of 6 now as Sceaux wins in effortless fashion for